Today, we're going to learn from Gavin, the Chief Operating Officer of Modern Wealth Academy, on how he quit the rat race, left everything to start without a single idea what he was going to do, right? Number two, you're going to learn about some of his struggles and some of the deepest, darkest, most painful points. And most importantly, guys, we're going to hear about the vision that Gavin has for the entire Modern Wealth Academy. If you're interested in more, make sure you watch this video. Hey guys, welcome to our Modern Wealth Podcast. Welcome to this beautiful episode. And again, the Modern Wealth Podcast, we aim to empower, evolve, and enrich your lives with stories of inspiring people to advance your life, financially, physically, mentally, spiritually, in all these different areas. And today we have a very, very special guest. You guys will be very familiar with this guy, right? He is the Chief Operating Officer of the Modern Wealth Group. And today he'll be sharing his story, his insights on how he went literally from working in the military for over 10 years to becoming an entrepreneur of his own, right? So tune in and pay attention. Let's get started. Welcome, Gavin.
Hello, Rash. I thought I got a job to do the hosting, but end up he's still interviewing me. I haven't got the job yet, guys. So if you want me to take over the job, please give more likes and subscribe, and comment down below. I want to do this more often.
Sure. So Gavin, incredible guy, and just to share with you all, I've known Gavin for many years. In fact, I was one of your students, right now, bro?
I think we were each other's students. Yeah, let's put it that way.
He used to actually be he used to be affiliate marketer, right? So he used to do company's name was Inbox
Income Academy.
Inbox Income Academy, right? Yeah. So I was actually one of his students together with one of his partners last time, learning about email marketing and how to craft emails. So that was one of the things that he was actually focusing on very, very deeply last time with regards to affiliate marketing, how to generate income from emails, how to build income from sites like ClickBank, right? So that was when I actually learned from him, and we really got to become very, very close friends. He went on to do many different ventures, and I still remember it was sometime last year. Was it last year? Sometime last year in January.
It was now it's already 2024, so it was
2023 last year lah.
No, we actually had coffee, right, for the purpose of this in 2022. 2022.
So yeah, sometime in 2022, right? We were getting a bit of traction and stuff. And honestly speaking, I sat down lim kopi with Gavin, and Gavin was one of the maestros, right? Literally the maestros. One of the, we talk about 贵人, right? We talk about, the maestros. So we happened to sit down, have coffee, and, I just discussed with him. He happened to write a post on Facebook with regards to, hey, I'm looking to help, some business people with their marketing campaigns and whatever not. So I just commented lah. Right? See again, guys, the power of just letting people know what you do, right? The power of letting people know what you can offer.
Yep.
So he put up the post. I reached out. I said, "Bro, let's have coffee." Right? He came down. He came all the way came all the way to my house. Right? We sat down. We have coffee, and we started. Right? We started. We agreed. We started out, and Gavin just took it to another level. Right? Literally took it to another level with our marketing. He introduced a few other key partners and players in the game, which took the business literally from, making a couple of 6 figures to multiple 7 on to 8 figures, right? So, wow, it's just been incredible. And to be honest, right, Gavin was an absolute game changer, right? So, sorry, bro, I just thought we'd talk about you. You don't mind me, right?
Happy to hear about myself, bro.
But there's a few things that I really love about Gavin, right? Which is this. Right. So again, the first part of the story is, you never know who in life you meet that can bring you to the next level, right?
Yeah.
Like, for me, it was Gavin. For Gavin, it was me. It was an interchangeable thing, right?
Complementary.
It was a complementary thing, right? So again, I was his client, but now we are partners in the business. I became his official biggest client ever, right?
100% for sure.
By far. So you never know, right? You never know. Sometimes again, in life, it's always about the relationships.
So true. Relationships, right? In business especially.
In business, it's always about the relationships that you have, right? And I think beyond the relationships, it's about how you nurture and how you pour water on these relationships.
Yeah.
Right? Gavin, I'll share with you something. Sorry, I know I have nothing but good things to say about him. So, I'm just going to talk until I cry.
Ready? Tissue, guys. Prepare tissue.
I'm just joking. Right? No, but for real. One thing that I loved about him, right? So I work with many different people.
Yeah.
Right? But Gavin is one guy who, he gives, and then he gives some more, And then he gives some more, right? It's really about having that initiative, taking that ownership. I think, in business, when we are working with people, we want to find people who take ownership, who take responsibility, who step up, right? Like if you display these qualities, whether it's in your work, whether it's in your career, that's how you really, really move many steps forward.
Yeah.
So I saw that from the very beginning. Dude was crazy, man. Did a retreat, come one day earlier, organize everything. I was like, bro, this is not even within the job scope, right? See, a lot of people, they're like, I only do what I'm paid to do, right? Hey, 5 o'clock, I need to zao, right? I don't care, right? But, this kind of people, you continue living a modest, average life, right? But when you go beyond the call of duty, when you go beyond what is asked, when you take ownership, you take responsibility, then the sky is the limit. And again, right, when Gavin proved that, and he proved that undoubtedly, eventually he became, in management of the entire company. Today he's the chief operating officer of, the Modern Wealth Academy as well, right? So that's fantastic. But yeah, man, so that's Gavin, internally, right? So again, sorry guys, enough of me talking about him, right? I want you all today to hear about his story, hear about, how he got to where he is today, right? And then let's go from there, right? So Gavin, first question, brother, sorry. Anything I need to add, bro?
No, give me a thumbs up. Right, just
yes, smash and give
smash and give me a thumbs up, man. We need it.
Absolutely, right? Guys, I hope you all got some tips, like really take ownership, responsibility. Okay, anyways.
But if I could just add on to what you said, right? I think, Resh, I think it's so important that when you said it's so important to nurture a relationship when you're in a business. And this is something that I only started doing business about, to be honest, 2016. Right? That's when I left the service. So 9 years now, about 9 years doing business. And when I first came out, right, I never done business before. I never knew about human relations. And to be honest, I wasn't much of a good guy, to be very frank, right, in the Navy. I was very isolated. I'm just like a hermit living my own thing. I don't really interact. You're my colleague, right, but you're not my friend. Kind of like idea. But I realized that in business, like what you said, the relationship nurturing is so important. It's not 1 day, 1 week kind of thing. Like many of the clients that sometimes I get, like when I was doing my other businesses, like yourself, we were friends for years before eventually, like 6 years after we were friends, we became clients. Then even as a client, we worked very closely for 1 year plus before we became partners, right? When we kind of like ascertain each other that we are of each other's expectation and quality, then we move on to become partners. So one of the biggest thing that I realized in many people aiming or looking to start a business, they feel like, relationship is just, I buy you some coffee, I give you some gifts, and it just happened overnight. No, it doesn't, right? Nobody built a friendship overnight. So that was one of my biggest lessons. So when you say that building a relationship is like nurturing, like it's like growing a plant. Like there's this old Chinese saying that when you can be watering a bamboo seed for years before it sprout. I can't remember the exact analogy, like how long it lasts, but it will suddenly sprout a lot.
7 years, bro.
7 years,
7
right?
years.
And then it will sprout, right? So it's the same thing here as well in business. Like we built the relationship for so long, then suddenly when it sprout, it went to the moon. See the chemistry now, right? To the moon.
To the moon, bro, to the moon.
So I just wanted to add on that this is such an important point. If you have not gotten anything else from the video, apart from the good stuff of me from him, this is really one of the biggest takeaway that I had as well for my few years journey in business. Yeah.
Very interesting. But bro, today I think I want to talk to you about one very important thing, right?
Yeah.
So I think many people who are watching, possibly employees working for a company, and they desire I want to get free, I want to do my own thing, I want to start my own business, I want to do all that stuff. So you were somebody who managed to get out of that, corporate day, rat race, to actually building something of your own, right? Can you detail to us how it happened? What triggered you wanting to say, enough is enough, I'm out? And how did that journey start, bro? Can you share the story?
That's a great question. And I shared this multiple times, but every single time I shared this, guys, ladies and gentlemen, it's like, it gives you another new and refreshed perspective. Because the truth is, for many of us, we are stuck in this 9 to 5, we are doing what we are doing. And for most of us, it's just going to be the norm, right? It's just going to be the way that we're going to live our life. And let's be very clear here, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. If you are happy, if you are contented, that's a life that is worth pursuing as well, right? There's nothing wrong for that. But for some of us, we always just feel that we want to do something more. but we want to give ourselves a shot. And that is something that I've always wanted. I was in the Navy for 9 years, 10 months. About there, 2 more months before I can get my gratuity and the sum of money, but I told myself that, you know what, it's okay. Yeah, I'm not after the money anyway. I wanted to do something on my own. I always knew I wanted to do something of my own. And I also know that my career in the Navy, I'm an officer, so we are quite aware of our own career path, right? I know I'm going to end up maybe a LTC, a Lieutenant Colonel, or maybe at best SLTC, a Senior Lieutenant Colonel. That's about it. I'm not going to become like a full colonel or someone remarkable in that sense. That's just my career path. Is that something that I want? Maybe not, right? Is it not a good life? To be honest, it's going to be pretty comfortable, you know. I'm going to be making decent amount of money and everything, but inside my heart, I knew that it's not something that I wanted. So when I made the decision to leave, bro, I'm telling you, to be honest, I was very scared. I was very, very scared. I didn't know if that would be a right choice, but I just asked myself this one question. And it's going to sound cliche, but you know, you always hear of those stories where people say, you know, on their deathbed, and then people ask, what's the one thing that you regret? And then I asked myself that question. I said, if on my deathbed one day, and I asked myself this question, did I regret not giving myself this shot, this chance to come out and pursue something that I really wanted, and to prove maybe to myself that I can do it? Will I regret it? And my answer is a resounding yes. Then I said, okay lah, tender, submit it. And I did it in a heartbeat. I didn't know what I was going to do. Absolutely no idea what I was going to do.
You didn't know what you were going to do?
I didn't know.
Wow.
I had enough savings in my bank to last me for at least 2 years, 3 years. I know financially I'm not going to be in a drought lah. Then I just did it. And to me, I always ask myself this. I learned it from one of my mentors as well. One of these gentlemen, a bit controversial figure. His name is J.T. Fox. Right, so he actually taught me this before. He told us that in any situation that you're faced, you can actually just ask yourself 3 very simple questions. Right? Number 1 is, what is the most plausible situation that's going to come out from this? Like, what's the most likely situation? What is going to be the best situation? And then what is going to be the worst situation? So I asked myself that question as well. No, I'm going to regret it if I don't come out. But what is the worst case, best case, possible case, right? So the possible thing is that I'm going to run a business, maybe not very, very successful, but should be making enough money, right? I'm not going to starve or anything. And in Singapore, it's my belief that if you are hardworking, you have hands, you have legs, I'm physically well, I'm not going to suffer in that sense. I can always find work. It's just what kind of work, right? So that is the plausible case. The best case is, whoa, my business is awesome. You know, I make a lot of money, happy and everything. Worst case is, I can't find a job, I can't do anything else. And given my skills and knowledge and background at that point of time, I know that I can always fall back to the Navy if I really, really wanted to. I mean, I've seen it multiple times in my career in the Navy, so I know that people do leave and come back. So that is like, worst come to worst, I can go back. Then I ask myself, is this something that I can tahan? Is it something that for our audiences who may not be in Singapore, is it something that I could manage if it comes to the worst case scenario? And the answer is yes. So if the answer is yes to the worst case scenario, then there's absolutely zero reason for me not to take that step.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Hey, this is something that I always tell my traders as well. Understand?
Exactly,
Worst case,
yeah.
best case. You can take the worst case and go lah.
Correct, yeah.
Interesting. So okay lah. So you were in a situation where you had that financial. Okay, cool. You know, I can survive.
Yeah.
You know, don't really have that much. So you took that step to go out. But can I ask you a question? When you left, was there like skill sets that you had, or do you start developing it after you left? Like, was there some things that you know that, okay, cool, I can start by, I don't know, marketing? Like, do you have that skills?
I would say that I have a very basic rudimentary skill set.
Which was?
Of like marketing. Because, okay, so I'm in Dev SAF, please don't come after me. To say first, you know, it's quite dangerous to say this, right? Because when I was already in the service, I'm a very curious person by nature, I would say. I do my best to learn many, many different things. I think you probably know that I learn a lot of different things. Even right now, I'm so still learning. And when I was in the Navy, I already started to learn about marketing. That's when I picked up my skill set on affiliate marketing, email marketing. I attended courses, I attended property courses, trading courses as well. It's just that in the Navy, it was really a little bit more difficult for me to implement trading.
Yes.
So I would say that I came out with a rudimentary skill set.
Okay.
But when I really, really left the Navy, I have a lot of time on my hand.
Yeah.
And that's when I really start to hone the skill set a lot more. I wasn't
The
making
skill set
money.
of
Marketing, online marketing.
Online marketing. Can you be more specific, bro? Online marketing. What were you focusing on?
I was focusing on two things, basically on paid marketing as well as email marketing.
Okay, so
That
like
two
how
are
to
the
run
two.
ads profitably lah.
How to run ads for businesses.
Okay.
Because to me is that I think at the point of time when I left 2016, 2017, there were a lot of businesses who still at the point of stage, they do not know how to run Facebook ads
Yeah.
or YouTube ads or Google ads.
Yeah.
You know, and to me, marketing, as far as I've learned at the point of time, is that two ways to get exposure. You can either wait for it to happen, or you can pay to make it happen for yourself.
course.
And to me, is that the easiest way for a business to get exposure is to get paid marketing. So do my best to learn that. And then from email marketing side, in the Navy, I was already doing a little bit of email. I was doing affiliate marketing using emails.
Okay.
Right. So I was actually making some money there as well.
Okay.
So I know that was something that I could work on.
Okay.
Yeah, so these two were the two skills that I really went all in to make sure that I got pretty good at it. And then that's when one of my business later was actually an agency,
Yes.
which the one that you earlier mentioned that I made a post and then you contact. For those of you who are interested, actually you all can connect with me on Facebook. You'll scroll down to probably 2022, September 15th. I remember the date because I remember it was like my birthday. I wanted to do a special promotion. Right, I said if you work with me for the next 3 months, I will actually rebate you back your ad fund. Right, that was the post that I think got you interested. So for those of you who, because these are all real story, right, people be like, true or not, true or not. Go and search my Facebook, right? You all can find the post.
There was a life-changing post.
Yes, absolutely life changing. I'm so glad I made the post, right? If not, we won't be sitting here today.
Life-changing post, brother. Shit, gotta go and frame it up, bro. Frame that shit.
Must take picture. I still remember.
Exactly, bro.
In fact,
Hey, bro, you should do that, bro. Today, go and screenshot the damn thing. Bro, the post that changed my life, right? Like,
Yeah.
dude, you should really do that, bro.
very interesting because the photographer who took that photo for me is actually standing right there.
Are you
I don't know.
serious?
Chris,
Wow, crazy.
I don't know if you can
Wow.
be in screen, but that guy, he took that photo with me. We went to Solita, I remember.
Wow.
And
Yeah, I
he
don't
took
remember the photo. I just remember the post, lah, right? I remember the post. Okay, let's talk about the crux of things.
Okay.
So two things, right? Two things I got from it, which I want you to take notes on. Number one, how can I add value to a business owner, right?
Yeah.
So very simply, again, you are out there, you want to be able to start your own business, for example, right? Question to ask is, how can I add value? So Gavin mentioned very simply, many businesses back then, even now, have no idea how to run ads profitably, right? To bring in clients, to bring in customers, to bring in revenue, right? So again, if you're able to provide that solution and if you're able to do it well, hey man, why not? I'll work with you. Right, so that's crux number one, right? So that's basically what he really focused on, right? How to, write proper emails, how to really reach out to your audience, bring in more leads, and basically run ads so that you can get more exposure quickly, right? So that was basically number one. And number two, if you go and see that post, right? Maybe we can include that screenshot.
Do you just want to find it?
If you are able to go and get the, if you're able to see the post, hopefully we can put it right here, right? If you see exactly what Gavin wrote, right? It was irresistible offer.
Yes, absolutely.
Right.
Talk more about that.
So again, how do you craft something that is an irresistible offer? Right. I think that's very, very important. So when I saw that, it caught my attention. And magic happened. Right. So again, in starting a business, again, what's the solution you provide? And very, very simply, the offer.
Yeah.
Right. Solution and offer. Solution and offer. How can you make the offer irresistible offer, and that's when you get revenue.
Absolutely. It's like a business crash course happening right here, right now. You guys, I don't know what's going to happen to this podcast, but this podcast is going to help so many people, especially if you're just starting out, especially.
Yeah.
And to add on to that 2 points that you mentioned, bro, I think one of the key things that a lot of young entrepreneurs, including myself at the very beginning, what we didn't understand was that we always think that we are the best, we can provide so much value to people, right? But the point is that sometimes we keep telling people, we can do this, we can do this, we can do that. But the truth of the matter is that the person don't want what we're offering. Right? You need to give the person what they want.
Yes.
Another thing that one of my other mentors taught me, his name is John Lee. This thing, I was traveling around the world with him, doing closing and stuff, and he kept repeating this in all his training, and it just really etched so deeply into my mind was this. He said, as a business owner, as someone who interacts with people, who speaks to clients, you just have to remember this all the time. Sell people what they want, then you give them what they need. So that is such a key thing, because usually what new business owners do is they sell what they think people need, and then they couldn't deliver what they want. So that's a big problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sell them what they need, give them what they want. As in, sell them what they want, give them what they need. Right?
Yeah.
Very, very important. I think that's so,
So
true.
important.
Right?
Yeah.
So true. Fantastic, man. So exactly. Right. So Gavin, so great, right? So we fast forward, fantastic. You've grown the business multiple fold, very good situation, that's fantastic. But when you first came out, sure you were learning and grinding these skills, right? But how was the first year like? Was it a hiccup? Did you get off to a flying start? You were learning, you were growing, but how was it like in that first year of entrepreneurship for you?
It was bad. It was bad in so many fronts, bro. I'm telling you. And at this point, I'm sure many of the young entrepreneurs out there, or someone who's starting business for the first time, you'll probably feel me. It was so bad.
me.
When I first left in 2016, actually one of the first things that I did was a bit. It contradicts why I left the service. I got into a job.
Okay.
When I left the service, one of my friends introduced me to his then company. It was a magazine, right, where we deal in MICE, meeting incentives, convention and exhibitions, right?
Suntec
in that-
City kind of thing.
Yes, Suntec City, hotels,
Okay.
convention spaces. So my job was to sell people to buy advertising space
Okay.
in the magazine.
Okay.
So within the first 2 months, 3 months or so, I sold like, I don't know, maybe close to 6-figure worth of magazine spaces.
Okay.
But then there comes the question of like, what am I doing here? Like, why did I leave the Navy for? Did I leave the Navy to get into another job where I couldn't pursue
So it was
businesses?
another job lah.
Yes,
was a
exactly.
job,
It was
okay.
another job. And then I started to like, this is not exactly what I want. So I was starting to doubt myself as well. So, and maybe my doubting had its effects. And my then boss, his name is Al, great man by the way, so I have nothing against. But I think, in other words, to put it very bluntly, I got fired. Right? That's to be open. I mean, he was very afraid. He said, oh, maybe the culture is not a great fit, we might don't suit ourselves out. The underlying tone is just, dude, I want you out lah, I'm firing you lah. It's either I fire you or you resign, right? So,
Sure.
so then at that point of time, I was also thinking, is this really what I wanted anyway? So after that quick conversation, I remember that morning we had coffee under the office, and after that conversation, I was also thinking to myself, yeah, actually, this is not what I wanted in the first place also. So I went up there, I typed in my resignation letter, which is the intended outcome of that conversation anyway. I just submitted it and then I left. That's it. And then I started to I really went into business mode. Like, how can I do business? But the truth is, at that point in time, I still didn't know what business I want to do. Right? I told you that there were 2 skill sets that I was looking to really hone it. Right? That marketing skill set. But I also know that if I don't know how to sell, it's going to be a problem. Which is why I also, perhaps that was the reason why I got into that sales job in the first place, because I still need to know how to sell. I wasn't a high EQ person. I wasn't someone who can speak very, very well. I wasn't someone who can relate to people very well. I think I am that kind of person, so I needed to build the skill set. So that 3 months there, to all credit, Al taught me a lot. I got to really understand how to do sales better. So then I started my own businesses. But I didn't get results. I didn't think I was doing well. And to be fair, I would say that it's because my skills are not there yet.
Okay.
Right? Not to a level where I can sufficiently service my client.
Sure.
So what I did was that I worked very, very hard. I shared this publicly before, but my routine was this. Right? My routine was I will wake up at 2 p.m. every day.
Wake up at 2 p.m.
Yeah, that's the worst. Right? So I got to clarify that. But listen to the full 24-hour cycle first, right?
Sure.
So I wake up at 2 p.m. every single day, and I will watch YouTube videos, I will read books, I will literally improve on my skill set. So I will do that every single day from 2 p.m. to around 7 p.m., right? To around 6 or 7 p.m. I will study and study and study. I will take down notes, I will watch videos, whatever. And then I will have a short meal break. And what happens after that is that I will actually go drive. So I was also a private hire driver. I drove, at the point of time, Uber as well. And to be fair, those were like 2016, 2017, right? It's pretty good money, right? I drove consistently every day. I could make like 5 figures a month.
Wow.
It's pretty good. The money wasn't that bad. But I drove from like 8 p.m. all the way to 5 a.m.
Oh.
Right, 5 a.m. So 5 a.m., I will go back home and then I will take a short break and then I will continue studying until about 7 or 8 a.m. and then I will sleep. That's why I wake up at 2 p.m. Right? So that's the context. It's not that every day just tuang and then I wake up at 2. So that was my routine. But I did that for close to 1.5 years.
Wow.
That was literally my routine every single day for 1.5 years. I mean, it did bring some unexpected consequence, which we can talk about more later. But what that ingrained in me was two things, I feel. Number one was the discipline. I know that if I really put in my heart and soul, I could maintain such level of discipline. And number two is because I was so focused on improving my skill set, I would say that by the end of that time, my skill sets managed to reach to a certain level, which I'm able to very easily bring results to my clients. And that's when I see a substantial improvement in my business results as well.
Wow. So there's a season in learning and a season in earning. Right?
Exactly.
Some people get stuck in the season of learning forever, bro. Right? Fucking man, bloody hell, after 1 year still learning, bro. Like, of course you're forever learning, right? As in, sure, I'm also a learner, but again, this is a trap sometimes, right? Where people get stuck forever in learning. Bro, I got classmates still studying, bro. I don't know what they're doing, but they're still studying. Right? Good for them. But again, season of learning. So, when is enough? Like, when do you stop learning to start earning? Like, you understand my question?
I understand. So to answer that, it's not about just learning, and I think we will both understand, it's not about just learning and learning. It's got to be a time where you learn and you also implement and execute.
Of course.
Right? And then when you implement and execute, then you will then see the results. What I do feel that, or maybe this is something that I guess we all learn over time as well, is that if you keep learning, sometimes we forget to look back and think, what exactly then is a priority, right? So maybe at the beginning, my priority was, I had to make money, right? But I didn't know how to. So then I evaluate the priorities. So in order for me to make money, I need to learn first. So then my learning became priority number one. Priority number two is to make money. All right, so that was the reversal of that priorities. What happened to most people perhaps is that once they had that switch, they never reflect upon and they never relook again at their priorities. So it's always stuck as learning as number one. Then earning is always below. So you then don't execute because learning is priority. But then there will be a time, it could be like every half a year, 1 year, you reflect back and you say, okay, so now that I've learned enough skill set or whatever, let me take a look at my priorities again. Is it now time to maybe shift the priorities to execute and to earn? And while learning is still important, I think both, like you said, we are both learners. In fact, now we are both still learning many new things. But learning can maybe take a step back. Rather than spending 8 hours per day learning now, I can spend 3 hours per day learning. The other 5 hours now, I have to reallocate because my priorities have shifted. The 5 hours could be used for executing. Like many people in our communities right now, right? Especially for our new graduates always, right? We always tell them that the immediate priority for you all is to learn first, right? But it cannot be, like you said, you cannot be learning forever because if you just keep learning forever, you don't place the trade, you don't learn, you don't improve yourself, you're then never going to see that financial success that you have. But after you learn finish already, then you reevaluate your priorities. Okay, then maybe now I spend more time analyzing trades, placing trades, reviewing my mistakes. But doesn't mean you stop learning, right? It's just that you maybe spend lesser time learning. So I think that portion is perhaps what most people forget to do.
Absolutely. It's true, bro. It's true. And guys, I want to just share with you something with regards to learning, right? I always believe in learning, right? Again, I believe in learning, right? Again, learning while earning is very, very important. And I think Gavin, I guess, I don't know if you all know this, right? But Gavin is an exceptional example of somebody who is constantly learning. Yeah? He knows a lot of different things, stuff that I have no clue about. In fact, right now he's taking his PhD, bro.
Yes, I'm taking my doctorate.
He's taking a doctorate in what?
Business admin.
Bloody hell, business admin. I don't know why you need that, but he went for holiday recently. He's like, bro, I need to finish my thesis. What thesis, bro? Wow, I'm taking a doctorate. I was like, wow, okay, cool, right? So, sorry, I don't have degree, but anyways.
Got money here, bro. Got money.
Right, but he's taking his doctorate in business admin, which is fantastic. I won't do it anytime soon, but respect, man, respect. Still learning, still growing, still going through the path to actually learn and grow. And has that been useful?
Absolutely. I mean, to me, my view of learning and education, is that you must always learn what you are interested in. Right? I feel that's the spirit of learning. Yeah, you want to learn because you are interested in something, you want to find out more about it, right? You want to be able to use it somehow, right? Nothing against our education system, which I think is fantastic, right? I think academics is so important, right? It builds the foundation for us. But if you're ready to embrace the spirit of learning, it's ready to find something that you're interested in, then you go and learn more, right? If you're interested in and then you're like, oh, I'm interested in this, and then you don't take any action, then it's lip service.
Yes.
Right? So if you're interested in something, go and learn about it. And to me, that's education. And education comes in so many different forms. It doesn't necessarily mean that education only comes in the academic sense. Right? If you are interested in football, right? For example, you go and find out more about the game, right? You'll find out more about, what does a defender do, what does a midfielder do, what does a forward do, what are the different tactic strategies, right? If you're interested in, for example, I also love flying, right? So I went to take my PPL, right? I'm taking my PPL, right?
Soon to be
Pilot
pilot.
license. You learn about aviation. It's interest, right? If you are interested in, I want to say diving also, which I also do diving. If you are interested in, I don't know what else, like dancing, right? Then you go for class, right? You go for a class, you learn about maybe locking, popping, hip hop, punk, funk, whatever, right? So you learn Latin. You go and learn and discover more. Like we are interested in trading. That you will take up courses, you will go and take up books and everything. So I feel that education should not be so confined to just purely academics. But there's many different forms of education, and it's so important that we keep our mind alive, we keep our mind agile and active, so that when you are agile and active, in my own opinion, I feel that you will find life so much more fulfilling.
Absolutely.
Because you're not just going through routine, you are actually finding your purpose, your meaning in life. You are really looking forward to each and every day where you can get something new. The truth is there's so much things in the world that we don't know about. And we are so blessed, in my opinion, we are so blessed to be in a world where we have access to so much information. We can literally learn everything and everything. And most of it can be free. Right? People in the past, they wouldn't have that privilege. They just get through life and everything. Yeah.
You've heard the story of how Gavin went from a naval officer for nearly 10 years to quitting everything to start his journey as an entrepreneur and now managing a company that's doing well over 7 figures. Guys, if you're interested to find out more on how you can break free from the rat race, continue to watch more of this episode. And make sure you smash the like button and continue watching the episode. Let's go. Guys, right now we're going to go through Gavin's struggles, what he actually has been through to get to where he is, right? So, Gavin, share with us, man. That first year you shared that it was a struggle. You spent so many hours learning, growing, trying to build that income, right? I saw how you built business. You had partnerships that didn't work out. So many different struggles that you went through. Can you share with us some of the hardest challenges that you faced in this journey of entrepreneurship?
Okay, so the hardest challenge that I actually had was surprisingly not in entrepreneurship per se. I think I was sharing with you privately just now as well. Like one of the hardest things that went through for me was actually in terms of my relationships, right? Because if you all have watched through the whole episode earlier, you have heard about my routine, right? So my routine was typically reverse for most people. Right, so I was awake in the wee hours of the night. I only sleep in the day. And what happened was that I had this routine for close to 1.5 years. And I really stuck very, very close to this routine. And my wife, who is working like a normal person would, wakes up in the morning, goes to work, come back at night. So then what happened was that within these 1.5 years, my wife and I had very little contact or communication, right? So it kind of strained our relationship so much. And I remember that one particular day, right, when I was just, I came back from my drive, I was so tired. I was like, oh, finally, I'm back home after driving for 10 hours. Shag already, I don't want to go back, just take a break and rest. And then my wife that day had an off day, so she wasn't working, and I saw her just sitting there, right? Just sitting there, and then she was looking a bit stern, right? And I don't know, guys, when you all go home, right? and then you see your partner just sitting there, you're like, something wrong. You get a feel, right? You get a feel, you're like, oh, something wrong, something wrong. I was like, okay, I sensed something was up, right? So I just went to her. I just went to her and like, yeah, like, what happened, right? Like, is everything okay? And what she said next just threw me off so much. Right? She just said, I think maybe we need to separate. That was it. Like, that was just what she said. She just said, I think we need to separate. I was like, where the hell did this come from? I'm like, what's happening? I'm just working so hard. We didn't do anything wrong. We didn't do it. We didn't, nothing, literally nothing happened, right? But that just popped out. I was like, so shocked. I had absolutely no idea what to do. And I think for one of the very rare time in my life, I panicked. I was like, don't know what's happening. Like this can't be happening. Like, what went wrong? Like I at the point of time, I didn't realize what went wrong. And then I just tell her, like ask her why, and then at the end of it, I won't bore you guys with the details, but at the end of it, we came to a consensus that why don't we just give each other time to cool down? You can take the master bedroom. I will just rent in a study for like maybe the next month or so, or whatever that is, or however long you need. I will just be there. I'll give each other space, but let's just figure this out together, Ken. Then she reluctantly agreed, and that was what happened. So I literally had a very bad back for the next 1 to 2 months because I was just sleeping on the mattress, right? Those 5-star foam mattress, right? I was just lying there, and that was when I realized 2 things. That was when I realized where my mistake was. I was like in this grind, in this hustle, I was just thinking that, as long as I work hard, everything will work out fine, right? But I lost sight of what was truly important. Right? I lost sight of what was truly important. So I did not communicate with my wife, and in any relationships, right? I'm okay, disclaimer here, I'm not a relationship expert, but I'm speaking for what had worked for me, and what I realized from this episode was that, that communication is so important. I mean, be it in business right now or in any relationship, you really must be able to go through that stage where things have to be talked through, right? Things has to be, you have to show care and concern. And for the past 1.5 years, I didn't show that, right? And I just thought that, by working hard in my own way, things will work out fine. And I would think that she thought that I'm working very hard and she will appreciate that I was working hard. But no, is that what she wants? Right? Is that what she is looking for in a relationship? I never even considered that. And that was what caused the communication breakdown. And from the business point of view, like what we shared earlier as well, right? Sell people what they want, then give them what they need. I wasn't, not that she's a business, but like all this is a lesson. I wasn't giving her what she wanted, and I didn't realize that. So that was mistake number 1. Then that led me to understand my priorities in life. That actually is having a successful business the most important thing in my life. Is having a lot of money the most important thing in my life. And when I asked myself this question, my answer was actually no. My relationship with my wife was one of the most important things ever that I want to keep. Right? And I am prepared to give up everything for that. Like literally, right? If today you tell me that, hey bro, you need to like slog yourself 10 years of the company without seeing your wife, I tell you, then no thank you very much, man. I rather give it up. I don't need it, right? I mean, to me.
Because I will take off first.
Yeah, I mean, we are both, I think to a certain extent, we are both quite family oriented in that sense. So we have to understand what was important to you. And for those of you who are watching or listening to this, I would highly recommend that you ask yourself that question as well. We always tell people that your why is so important, but sometimes when we answer that question, it could be a very superficial why. Right? We think that, we want money. We think that we want freedom. We think that, doing A will lead us to B, and that is really what we want. But when shit hit the fence, in this case, literally when shit hit the fence, I want to separate. I was like, then I reflected. I was like, no, actually, what successful business, money, all this, no, those are not important. I'll be very happy to be a 9 to 5 guy if I can maintain a happy marriage relationship with my wife. That was much more important to me. So that changed my whole perspective. So immediately after that, I spent a lot of time with my wife and everything. I think right now you also know that, every day I will say that, I got husband duties and everything, because my priority has always been this, right? Ever since that, like up to today now, you probably understand. Like I always tell you, this time I can't do it. I need to fetch my wife to work. I need to fetch her off work. I'm like
Taxi driver.
I didn't say. I didn't say. But it's very important to me, because those are really good times that I can spend with my wife.
Absolutely.
Right? Like the meal time, with my wife. The time where I can
Sure.
bring her on and off work. The rest of the time, of course, I'm dedicated to my work. I do whatever I can, but I want to protect those time as much as I can.
Very important. I think that's super important, right? Like
Yeah.
again, in the hustle and the chase of whatever we want, do we truly remember what it is that we are truly fighting for, right?
Yeah.
And in
So-
the hustle and chase, if you lose what you're truly fighting for, then what's the point of it anyways?
Exactly,
Right.
exactly. So when you don't ever. So what I would like to say to everyone who is watching this is that please do not ever lose sight of what is truly, truly important.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
100%. I completely agree, right? And that's something that is a philosophy that we have, right? From the founder, through the entire management. I
Yeah.
think that's something that we really believe in.
Correct,
Right?
correct.
We really, really believe in. So, Gavin, I wanna, thanks for sharing that, bro. Very, very important. And you're a lover of life. You're an adventurer, right? You love, guys. Honestly speaking, I know very few friends who are as adventurous and have taken up so many leaps of faith as Gavin, right? Like, Gavin, can you share a bit of like some of your interests and hobbies and what you do?
Wow, this is such a wide question. Like I said, I'm a very curious person.
Yeah.
I love to do a lot of things. I'm also constantly learning a lot of things. But I will say that coming from where you are from, the things that you all always hear me saying that, I always go diving, right? Every 2 or 3 months or so, I will go diving with my wife, right? Again, now with my wife, right, very important. We spend time together. Yeah. We do our trips together. We go diving. So diving is something that I do. I also.
As a pilot as well.
I learned flying, yes, I learned flying, planning to get fully certified, right? I already did my solo, so I flew alone in a plane, and that is a fantastic feeling, ladies and gentlemen. If you ever have a chance, experience it. Just go and take a trial flight or something. It's a very different feeling as compared to flying commercial.
Very nice.
Something that you can do as well. I enjoy sports a lot. I used to play a lot of sports. I'm a bowler. I play golf. I play badminton.
Wow.
My wife and I, we enjoy watching football as well.
Wow.
In fact, in March, I haven't told you this, so I need to apply leave on camera. So in March, my wife and I, we are planning to go to Spain. We are going to watch like Champions League and stuff.
Wow.
So it's about living life. It's about experiencing life. It's just like what I said about education earlier. Education is it doesn't come in one form where it's academic, right? Life doesn't just come in one form. Life has this wide variety of things that you can do, you can experience. To some people, food is life, right? For my wife and myself right now, I think experiences is what's important to us. We are here. We have this one lifetime. What can we experience? What is the something new that we can always experience? And then if we find something that we like, then can we do more of it?
Very nice, very nice. Again, that's what life is about, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Enjoy experience, enjoy the finer things, right? Like really experience, and most importantly, doing the things with the people that you love, right? I think that's
so
very
important. Yeah.
Gavin, I want to ask you a question now, and this is very, I don't know if you're going to be ready for this, right? But really, has the current Chief Operating Officer of Modern Academy, what is your vision and what do you see, yourself being? What do you envision that we will achieve in the next 5 to 10 years?
Wow. What we will achieve in the next 5 to 10 years.
You tell me, man.
Okay, so I'm not sure if you guys remember when I was interviewing Rash.
Yes.
Right, there was this episode where I interviewed you. For those of you who want to watch, you can click somewhere up here to watch the episode. We actually made a joke, right? We said, one day maybe we have this sticker called MWA. Right, I'm thinking in the next 5 to 10 years,
Yes.
let's make that a reality, bro.
Wow.
That's number one.
Whew. Shit,
Right.
I got goosebumps, brother. Okay, let's go. Anything else?
That's number one, right? And number two, I think we have to always remain true to our vision and to share this, I wouldn't say this is a small goal per se, but I would say that it's a more consistent kind of mission that we want to be able to achieve. So I know Rash for a long time, and one of the biggest reason why I chose to work with this gentleman right here is because I know this man has a huge heart, right? In fact, when I first met Rash, can we share this on camera to the questions that I asked you?
Sure.
Right? So there was a period of time where, at that point of time, I think during COVID time, I wasn't working with you then, right? And then I could see what you were doing online. And I started to have my doubts, and I like, hey, the way Rash is conducting himself online then wasn't the kind of Rash that I knew. You know, it seems to be a bit deviated, right? And then when we had a coffee session in 2022, and the first thing, remember when we sat down at the coffee shop in Ang Mo Kio, right? And the first thing I asked you is that, bro, what happened in the COVID years?
Yeah.
Can you share with me what happened?
Yeah.
And what Rash then shared with me was that, you know, the reason why he did so many things was because he was doing his best to support his team then. Right? He was facing challenges, he wanted to support his team. And to me, that was like, that's the Rash I knew. He's simply just doing what he thinks is best for the people and his team. Doing his best to support them. And that's when I knew, at that point of time, right, okay, we can continue to work first. But I also still want to, you know, test each other out, right? I think you wanted to test me, I wanted to test you, right? We were like, okay, let's test water again and see whether we'll be good partners, good business partnerships and everything. And then as we continue to work with each other more, I think we can see from each other that, you know, we really have a big heart. You really have a big heart, and you really want truly nothing but the best for the people that you work with, and as also for the students. So on that note, right, I think in 5 to 10 years' time, I want to make sure that we are always on this right track, right? I think my job here, one of my job as a COO, is not just to ensure that the operation goes well, which is very important because we have to make sure that we do right by our students and clients, but to also make sure that we stay on track with this mission, that we are here to serve them and to serve them well and to help them to achieve their goals. That is something that I got to make sure that, you know, as we grow bigger and bigger, we never ever lose sight of that. Because to me, like when I was starting out, like, wow, we are a lot of callbacks to what we talked about earlier in the day, is that we must never lose track of what's important to us. And the moment we lose track of that, that's when we deviate, you know, that's when we go to off track, and having learned that lessons in my personal life, right, I want to be able to apply that to the company where we will never ever make the mistake again. And it's so important, right, because, you know, what was the analogy that people say? You know, the wisest man in the room learn from people's mistakes.
Of course.
Right, the smart people, you know, they can make the mistake and then recover it, but the wise man learn from other people's mistakes.
That's
and
true.
I think we are at the stage where I think we could be wise, right? We have made those mistakes before already. Let's learn from it and not repeat that. And that's something that I want to make sure that we continue to do for the next 5 to 10 years as well.
Very nice, very nice.
Yeah.
You know, guys, I want to share with you all something. And this is a very, very important point that I want to bring across, right? I think for me, it's really, you know, iron sharpens iron, right? And, you know, when you have a band of brothers who are really solid, when, who you can count on, right, building a business, I think that's very, very important. Right, like right now, you know, sometimes I wake up and I'm like, oh shit, what will happen and whatever, right? What if this happens and stuff? But then, honestly speaking, then I will just, you know, I have these fears, and sometimes, bro, I suddenly wake up and then, oh, what if, you know, Google shuts me down or whatever, right? Like, you know, I have these fears. Then suddenly I think it's okay lah. You know, I got Kelvin, I got Gavin, you know, I got these guys. Things will be okay.
All the beans, so must have more beans in the company.
Fresh beans. but for real, man, like, you know, seriously, like, I think that's very, very important. You know, you have a band of brothers who will back you up. Whatever happens, things will be all right. All is well, right? And I think that's very, very important. You know, again, lah, guys. You know, business is all about relationships. You know, when you have that solid group of guys around you, you know, you can count on. You know, you can, you know, fall back on. Then you can move forward, and you can move forward without worrying, because these guys will be there to back you up. And again, if you're deviating, for example, I know Gavin called me out, I can call him out as well. You know, we have a very, very good relationship. So, you know, we can always do that, right? So, which is fantastic, right? And I think that is something that is priceless with regards to the entire thing, right? So, again, you know, we are where we are today, right? You know, the audience is watching, you will see where we will go. Stay tuned for the ride, boys and girls, right? You guys will see, right?
2024 now, right? Watch this video again in 2029, 2030.
2030.
We'll be watching this and be laughing because I'm telling you, we have achieved all that we said that we're going to do.
Wow, shit, man. Now I must think of MWA ticker symbol, must go and choke.
So he stumped me with a question, right? So guys, I also want to ask you, like, bro,
sure.
I mean, we've been working together, you asked me this question. So actually also, as the CEO, as a founder of like MWA,
Yes.
and what's your vision, 5 to 10 years?
Great question, man. You know, Okay, so for me, bro, to be honest, right? To be honest, how I view business, how I view life, is to tackle one step at a time, right? I believe in having a very good vision, but my current vision is very, very simple.
Yeah.
My current most important priority is to create 50 millionaires in the community.
That is for 2024, right?
Yes, that's for right now.
Yeah.
But like when I keep declaring this, I keep saying this, and sometimes whenever I declare this and say this, I know this will happen, right? But again, whenever we help these people achieve this success, when we help you as our audience achieve this success, then we will get to other places, we'll get to higher levels as well. Right? When we help these 50, grow and get to the level, we have this army of people who will back us, who will support us in whatever else we do, right? So, I have different visions beyond education to build a proper investment holdings arm where we're able to invest in different assets, different, many different things that we can actually do and grow in, right? We want to form an entire modern wealth group, right? We talked about this, right? So again, by investing in assets, obviously building our education arm, building production houses, many different things that we want to really do. And again, it's really about, most importantly, helping our audience, and I think most importantly also helping our team members' dreams come true as well, right? When I have a team that is able to run and they are able to achieve their visions and goals with the aid of the company as a vehicle, I think that will be fantastic, right?
Yeah.
And when we have that happening, when I attract the best of the best people to come together to support that vision, that'll be amazing. And of course, one of the other things that I want to do, bro, and you know that this is very, very important to me, right? Is the Modern Wealth Foundation, right? Like the foundation where we are able to use our profits to be able to give back, right? We're able to support people who are not privileged, for example, in education, in whatever aspects. I think that's very, very important, right?
Yeah, that's true.
And as long as we are a force for good, bro, I think we will be taken care of, bro. Right? Then, the millions will come, the billions will come, that's basically what's up.
Yeah.
Right? So again, it always stems from serving others, and when we serve others, we will be helped.
I love it, man. You see, that's why I love working with this guy, because I think sometimes when you have been in partnerships, right?
Mm-hmm.
I also been in partnerships, and the truth is that not all partnerships are created equal, right? And sometimes this is something that perhaps from your perspective you share more as well, right? Well, it's like, I don't know who's interviewing you right now, but one of the things that we always hear is that people always say money changes people, right? Money changes people. When people don't have money, we all say the nice thing, we have this heart, force for good, we want to do more, we want to help people. But when we have money, suddenly, the things get
Shoot pattern,
better more than badminton, the thing change, and we start to see a shift in the way people think. And don't get me wrong, I think it's very important that as we elevate ourselves to another stage, we need to elevate in terms of the way that we think about business, the way we think about giving, the way we think about how can we improve our lives or help people improve their lives. We have to elevate in that. That's a given.
Yes.
But I'm more towards the point where sometimes money changes people, right? And I would say we see the true colors, right? But it makes people don't fulfill what their original intention was. In your experience, like.
So I got some points to share with you guys. I've had many people come to me and tell me that, right? Hey, bro, you are different and whatever else, right? Or you've changed. Of course, I will change, right? Like you're meant to change. Of course, you will change. You will improve. You'll get better.
Exactly.
No, but okay. So one other point which I want to share is this, right? Oh, Rash, money changed you. Now you got no time for me and whatever else, right? So I'll be very upfront now, right? So that's something that I struggle with, right? Obviously, you cannot be having coffee with 1,000 people, right? Like there's priorities, there's time that so much time that I have to spend with so many people, right? So sometimes when friends tell me, hey, how come you not keep in touch and whatever else, you must understand my situation as well, right? Like we all elevate. I run an international organization. My time is limited. I need to spend time with people who matter to me, and most importantly, my family, right? So priorities in place. It's not that I forgo the relationship, whatever it is. Just that priorities have to be in place, right? I have to say a lot more no's than yeses today. Right, so that's something that people must understand also, right? So it's not that money changes me, right? But of course, so that's one thing to just clarify for myself, right? but besides that, I think money makes you more of who you are, right? Like, more money, if you're a good person, it'll amplify with the way you use and distribute your money, right? If you're a very, selfish, self-centered person, it will reflect when you have more money, right? So you become more of who you are with more of the resources that you're given, right? So again, ultimately, the people who are very selfish, self-centered, the money will not stay with them, right? The principles, the money, even though it flows, it might not stay with them. So it's very, very important. So for me, I think coming back to the principles, right?
Yeah.
And for me, my principles is very simply, as in it's very spiritually guided for me personally, right? So as long as I follow the principles and, I know that I'm always using my money for good. If I can use my money to be able to empower people, be able to help people, to be able to do that, to create a force for good, then, more and more will be given onto me, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I believe, right? Yep.
So yeah, I got another question.
Sure,
I mean, it's
sure.
just a good conversation that I just wanted to have this opportunity to ask, and
Yeah.
I think this will benefit many people, right? So obviously, we are now working each other, right?
Yeah.
But like you said, money makes
Amplifies.
you more of what you actually are, showcase more of how you are. So how do you actually determine, like, if a person is truly showing his colors? Like, for example, I'm not saying that I'm the kind of person, I disclaimer, you all don't put
Sure.
fake comments down below, okay?
Sure.
But like, when we first started working together, right, you're like, oh, Gavin is, like what you say, he's giving more than what. That's why maybe you think, oh, he can work together, right? But how do you then determine that, is Gavin really truly this kind of person or not?
Yes, yes.
Maybe he's just putting up an act, he's just trying to show me this so that he gets to work together with me. Like, how do you...
So
Like,
again,
yeah.
good question, right? So in having met so many students, in having worked with so many different partners, you kind of get a sense of things, right? But I think one thing that is very, very important is consistency, right? Is consistency of actions, right? Is whether it's a one-time thing or whether it's a repeated thing, right? People can do one-time wayang to show something, right?
Yeah.
But if the fella does it every single week, if the fella does it every single day, then you know that, hey, this is maybe not wayang, this one is real, like, proper stuff, right? So I think that's very, very important to take note of, right? So, Gavin's ability to really give wasn't a one-day, one-off thing. It was consistent, day after day, week after week, which, I saw him keep showing up. So that's how you know, right? So again, again, consistency, right? Like people, if I see that consistency, and it applies to everything in life, right?
Yeah.
Right? In exercise, in everything, right?
Yeah.
Like, you show up one time in the gym doesn't mean anything, but if you show up every single day,
Yeah.
it shows me something, right?
So what come into my head right now is that, so guys, if you're watching this, you want to wayang, don't wayang one time. Consistently wayang. You wayang consistently, and maybe it become a habit, then it's no longer a wayang.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, but I guess that is something that is so true. I mean, I'm also learning something from Rash again today, right? To really understand how we can, find the right people. Because like you said earlier, right, finding the right people, and it's so difficult to find the right people to work with, to partner with, to
Yes.
be able to do a project on a long-term basis. And sometimes, I don't know whether is it maybe, I don't me or something like, we, at a certain level, we want to be very trusting, right? We keep wanting to trust people, we want to give people opportunities, we want to give people times, but sometimes you give a bit too much trust and you get disappointed multiple times over and over again, and you just, I won't use lose faith, but you just get disappointed.
Yes.
And then at the point, and then you might suddenly say, forget it lah. Why should I give this person another chance? I've been disappointed so many times already. How is this going to be different? And I don't know, man. How can we overcome this?
No, bro. As in, in the end of the day, that's the journey of life. People come and go. There will be heartbreaks. There will be disappointments. That's what makes life exciting. If every person you get immediately, wow, walao, actually quite boring. Seriously, think about it, right? Quite boring, right? I love this analogy, right?
Yeah.
So, if you play games, for example, if you know the 10 steps ahead, who's the character that's coming up, every single thing, then the game sucks, man. Right? Like, you have pleasure when, I take a entire damn day, I lose. But after one day you win, then you feel so like, wow. Think about correct or not? Right?
Correct.
If you're a gamer, you understand what I'm talking about, right? Wow, you try 10 times, finally 11 times, you got it, and you're like, wow, the feeling is damn shook. But imagine everything first try, okay, done. Oh, life becomes a bore, right? So, I try to bring the analogy to business and in life as well,
Yeah.
right? So, again, you try, fail, but that's what makes the story,
right? These are the stories we can tell our children. These are the stories we can tell the camera and our audience. You see what I'm
Exactly.
saying? So that's how I look at life, right? Like, hey man, that's what makes life exciting. Let's go through the ups and the downs. And when you remember this saying, then whenever some like pullback happens, you're like, okay, come, let's go. Right?
Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a stage, man.
Yeah, it's just a
Let's-
stage.
We do it and we can clear it the next time.
Exactly. We clear
Yeah.
the next level, bro. We'll clear the next level. We fail this level, don't worry. We will get back again. We will try until we succeed.
Love it, love it.
Yeah, that's the analogy. So anyways, guys, I hope you all have enjoyed this talk and you all have really learned a lot.
Yeah.
Gavin, I have one final question to ask you,
Yeah.
right, to wrap up this entire thing. I think your entire story was really the whole inspiration from working, in a job for nearly 10 years to coming out, right?
Yeah.
For people who are watching out there who are in their jobs wanting to get out and, start on their own, a little bit scared, right? What's the one final bit of advice you give to them?
My final bit of advice is I said this to all my students as well in the past when I used to teach people entrepreneurship and stuff, is that don't be afraid to dream, right? Don't be afraid to dream, right? But what's more important is that while you are dreaming, you have to be practical for it as well, right? I'm not here to encourage impracticality, right? I'm here to encourage what I call practical dreaming. You have a dream, right? You must then develop a plan to know how to achieve that dream. If you don't have a plan, don't be like me. I'm not the prime example to say, oh, quit my job, don't know what's going to happen, right? I learned it the hard way where I got into issues where you all have heard about earlier in the interview. I do not wish that upon anybody because honestly, that was the most sucky feeling that one of the most sucky feeling that I ever had in my life. So have a dream, right? Dare to dream, have a plan to go along it, and then have the courage to execute. With that, you are probably in good hands. And if you are really healthy, you have arm and leg and everything. And for most of us here at least for people in Singapore, we are very blessed to be in a place that is well governed. There's a lot of opportunities. You are not going to be having issues. I mean, we are not like in a war zone where those people, if you ask me, they really don't have a choice, right? But we are so blessed, so fortunate. So have a dream, plan for it, and have the courage to execute it. That will truly change your life.
Absolutely, I completely agree, man. Thank you so much for sharing, Gavin. I really, truly enjoyed this conversation. Guys, if you've enjoyed this episode so far, make sure you all like the button. Like it for Gavin, guys. Make sure you all subscribe to the channel and click on the notification bells so you all will see more of these videos next time. Till next time, guys, signing out, the Modern Wealth Podcast.